We are live. Welcome back to the NBA Rundown. Nuke the house. Of course, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm here with my partner in handicapping the NFL and, of course, the NBA, where we shine, where we make our money. Tyler, how you feeling today, and what did you think of last night's opening night?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I mean, we dropped the over in the second game. We got the under home in the first game. If the guys watch the NFL shows, we gave out the Suns money line a few days ago. I believe that was Monday night when Draymond was rolled out. That also cashed in the end. So it was a good night in the NBA. Denver was able to get their rings, hang the banner, get the win. And I mean, it would be interesting to see what Phoenix looks like at full strength with Bradley Beal's back. But Devin Booker, MVP candidate spread. He's like 20-1 to start the year. But I feel like that number might have been a little wrong.
Yeah, I'd stay away from the awards markets. That is definitely not my specialty. But it's clear that he's going to become the number one option on that team and continue where KD was. I see Richie Smalls in the chat. Wait, what happened? My guys, I thought I lost you guys, had gone spread on X. What does that mean? Okay. Richie, what does it mean to go spread on X? All right, but we're here.
I feel like autocorrect might have got him.
Yeah, probably. But I'm happy to see you guys back. Obviously, as we move channels, people aren't sure where to find us. So, we're here. Spread the word. Give us a retweet. He found us. Okay, he found me on X. Excellent. Yeah, and if I'm not following you back, send me a DM or something, because anyone who supports the show, I want to support you guys and read what you're doing. A lot of times I just get lost. I'm not right. Okay, let's dive into last night's games, though. First things first, we said it on the show yesterday. We're not overreacting. The Lakers are still a really good team.
Yeah, for sure.
That's just a really bad matchup for them. Your takeaways from the first game?
Yeah, I mean, Jokic, best player in the league. There's no real stopping him.
Exactly.
If LeBron's going to play about 30 minutes a game, they're going to load manage them, it looks like, somewhat. They're probably going to hang around the middle of the pack in the West. And some of these other pieces, it'll be interesting to see like how Gabe Vincent fits in. I don't like the way D'Lo looked in game one. I was already shopping him in the offseason. I'd continue to do that.
But you remember that was a bad matchup for him? Remember how he looked good against the Warriors?
Yeah, that is true. Let's see him in other matchups before. But I'd still, if we get like a disgruntled Kyrie in Dallas, I wouldn't hate getting him to LA still. So, and AD, I mean, scoreless in the second half. We can't skip over that. Definitely can't have that happen from your second best player.
All right. Here's my takeaways. He should be the best player at this point. LeBron is still a top 5 player in transition. The half court is slipping. And the defense, I mean, that's why he's never going to be on it for me. And we're not rehashing the debate. But he sits there and he lets these guys get loose. And he's just happy to just sit in the power forward spot, let all the other guys do the work. I almost wonder if that's why Darvin Ham wants to play him less. I understand if he's carrying the load offensively. But I really thought he could have stepped up and impacted the game. And I know he's saving it a little bit, and that's why they're still going to be a playoff monster, because I don't know if we'll see that level of defensive intensity. But I was kind of disappointed with him there. And he doesn't really scare me in the half court like he used to. The Nuggets, we're worried about the loss of Bruce Brown. I said it yesterday, though. That's a playoff thing. The regular season, they're going to be fine. And I felt that was evident last night. Any more takeaways from the Lakers and the Suns? I mean, my main takeaways are, the Nuggets are the rightful defending champions. Great, good for them. Don't write off the Lakers yet. This is still a really good team, and that was a really bad matchup for them. Any more takeaways from the Lakers, and then we'll talk about the second game between the Suns and the Warriors.
Nope, that's it for me on the first game. Just don't want to take away too much from the first game. You know what I mean?
No, it's
very little.
Yeah. I mean, Lakers aren't dead. Nuggets aren't the necessary defending champions. My main takeaway is that Jokic probably should be the MVP again.
Yeah, I mean,
because he's going to stay healthy.
Yeah, as long as he stays healthy, which it can't be. I mean, it's got to be really hard to get hurt when you don't jump. So
you don't jump.
Yeah.
And you're bigger than everyone else. I mean, did you see the way he just punks AD?
Yeah,
he just punks him.
Yeah, they need, if you're going to stop him, you just need to get a big-bodied center in there. But then he becomes slow-footed on the other guys, so it's just a game of you got to take it. And
But before we go too far in this AD slander, there's only one other player in the league that's going to punk him like that.
Yeah.
And when he goes back to playing the Kings, playing the Suns, and Yusuf Nurkic, who I wasn't impressed by, and we'll go ahead and transition to that, playing the Trailblazers and DeAndre Ayton, he's going to go back to looking like an MVP. Like I said, this was or Defensive Player of the Year at least. This was just a really bad matchup for him. On the second game, the Warriors, Tyler, you were telling me this might not be the year, and I'm not ready until they lay an egg without Draymond. But boy, I didn't like the way the team looked last night. I don't know if this Chris Paul and Steph pairing is going to work. When we brought Chris Paul in, I was so excited to see him run that second unit in the Sean Livingston role, where he was hitting mid-range buckets with the second unit to keep them in there while Steph was on the bench. What I do think is he's going to be effective running that team, so Steph should be able to play less minutes, be more effective at the end of the game. I didn't like them closing together. I felt that my thing about Klay Thompson is spot on. Other than a shooter, he's not really contributing the way he was, and I really think that huge leak on the defensive end. Now you got CP3, who was getting hunted in Phoenix all last year. Steph, who's always been, I feel he's underrated as a defender, but he's still below average. You guys just act like he's terrible, and I'm saying you guys plural, not anyone here in the chat or you, Tyler. And then Klay now, who can only really guard fours and is not going to be able to guard certain ones. When Draymond comes back, a lot of this stuff gets fixed here. But boy, it still feels like the Warriors are a piece away. For the Suns to play offense like that without Bradley Beal, you have to be excited. Yet that Nurkic, I think, is going to be a downgrade, and I wonder how that works. Now, the Warriors don't have the players to hunt him, but he's going to get hunted eventually. Your overall takeaways, I know we said don't take too much, especially from a team like the Warriors missing their second best player. But this didn't look to me, it kind of looked like Dynasty's over. I don't know if they're really a true contender.
Yeah, I mean, Warriors, it definitely got to figure out who's going to close the game, because you can't have Klay and CP3 on the floor together. It's just two old guys. They're both going to get hunted. They can't rebound the ball whatsoever. I mean, I know Looney was a rebound monster last year. He couldn't even stop Nurkic on the boards last night. They out-rebounded 60-49, I believe.
Exactly.
So it's not the worst, but like Okogie was in there just jumping over these guys. Like, they were just getting second chance buckets. And I think Richie Smalls is right. CP slows the game down a little bit too much for how they like to play offense. Like, they're that motion offense. They like to move it. He wants to run that pick and roll and run a little ISO. I don't like that in their system. I'm not fully counting them out just yet until they get Draymond back and you see them with him. But I was low on them, and they're probably still right around where they're at. And as for Phoenix, outside of, like, say, the Lakers and Denver, like these teams with big guys on the Western Conference side, they probably shouldn't have many troubles with other teams. And
I don't think they will. You just mentioned the two teams they're going to be vulnerable against. I think they roll against us in Sacramento. And they're going to roll against Dallas.
Yeah, I think they're way, way, way more prone to losing to Denver, because if it comes down to the Lakers, it's like, all right, AD can score his 25 to 30, but we're just going to fight. We're going to fight firepower with firepower, and we have more firepower than you.
Exactly.
Yeah. To where Denver could be like, all right, well, we're going to score with you. Like, we'll let our guys go for that for 135 too. So that'll be. I think those are the two teams that slow them down. But other than that, Western Conference is those three teams, I think.
My last takeaway from the Warriors, when they won the championship two seasons ago with the same core, Andrew Wiggins was the second best player on the team.
Yeah.
He was better than Draymond because he was effective on the offensive end, hitting the three, able to get to the rim, cut, keep his guy honest defensively, and most importantly, his defensive rebounding and his defense. Still think the defense is pretty good. We haven't seen him rebounding, and the offense was very tough to watch last night, Tyler. You know, someone who had championed the Warriors here on this show, he left so many points on the table with shots that he should have made. Andrew Wiggins, ever since that injury and the time off last season, has not been the player. They're going to need him to reemerge. It's one game, however, against a very tough team. So I'm not ready to say that Andrew Wiggins is cooked yet. But that's going to be a major issue for this team. What's up to everybody in the chat, guys? Give us the thumbs up. This is the NBA Rundown. I'm Fred Astaire. He's Tyler Hicks. Hit that thumbs up. Any more thoughts, Tyler, in general, before we dive into tonight?
Nope, that's pretty much it. It's only 2 games. I don't want to take too much from it. And we got 12 to talk about, so I think we should get right into them.
It was a fun night, though, overall for the NBA. I thought it was nice the way that they got back, and I tell you what, it got me excited for the season, mainly because the Lakers lost. The Atlanta Hawks are -3.5. They're in Charlotte. They're taking on the Hornets. Our total in this game is 236. Tyler, highest total on the board. What are you expecting with the Charlotte Hornets? A team that I'm down on, and I chat with a lot of really high stakes NBA bettors. They liked a lot of our preseason win totals when I ran them by them, Tyler. They disagreed with us on the Hornets. One of their big things was this is a team that's 2 years away from winning 44 games. They were lined at 30, 31. We took the extra plus money at 30.5, and if it lands on 31, we'll cry, and you can see me melt down. But a lot of varying opinions on the Charlotte Hornets team. I felt the Atlanta consensus was there, though. This is about a 43-44 win team. We felt pretty solid with the way they took the number. We didn't take a stand on that regular season win total. They head into Charlotte tonight, and of course, even though it's day one, isn't it crazy? We don't do this in the NFL, really. This basketball monster, we gotta pull it up and see. Is anybody missing from this game, Tyler, that we should be worried about?
Not anybody we really need to worry about. Wes Matthews is out, and Bryce McGowan's is doubtful.
Okay. And neither of those players affected my power rankings or our number on this team at all. Your thoughts here? I like Atlanta.
Yeah, it's easy. I think you said it. They won 44 games 2 years ago, but I would want to go back, look at the rosters and the differences here. There may not be many name differences, but Gordon Hayward's 2 years older. We all know he's basically on one leg because of the leg injury he took in Boston. He looked like he was losing a step last year. Rozier doesn't look the same either. LaMelo's coming back off the ankle injury. Miles Bridges is he in jail? I'm not even sure if he's in jail. I don't think he's playing.
He's playing tonight, isn't he?
Oh, he is playing? Well, that's a surprise. I thought
when I ran it, I thought he was in there.
I thought
it would have been like -5 without him.
I swear I seen something that he turned himself in recently, but maybe he got back.
I'm going to look that up right now while we continue to break.
I don't even know why he's in the league. I don't trust their bigs as much. Like Mark Williams, a good young guy. Same thing with Nick Richards. But like Trae Young's going to put these guys in a pick and roll. They're going to get easy buckets. I think 3.5 is too low. And with it being opening night, I just think you get the little bit of a home court thing with Charlotte here. I think in a week or two spread, this line would be around 7. I'm on Atlanta here, minus the 3.5. And you can get a Trae Young double-double when Atlanta wins at plus 180. I'll be all over that because he's definitely getting the assist.
I agree with everything you said, except for I don't think they moved this one through 7 at home. I think it would go to about 6. So wait, does he miss the first 30 games?
Here,
on April 14th, 2023, the NBA announced that Bridges had been suspended for 30 games.
Yeah, so he's out.
Why didn't they show? I hate when Basketball Monster does it. It's like, bro, put him on there for us.
Yeah.
Okay. That means that my projections are wrong, and I like the Hawks even more.
Yeah. I think this is one of the easier bets on the board. You take the favorite, and you fade the bad team who's probably picking in the top 3 this year.
And you're going to see a lot of road favorites on our NBA treasure map tonight. But here's the deal. It's opening night, so you don't have any of those fatigue issues. Where we would be playing in a situation like this would be if, Atlanta had just gone through San Antonio, then Dallas and Houston, and it's our 4th and 5 nights, right? Then we would love this Hornets plus 3.5. With no rest disadvantage, we both love Atlanta here. Any props, any player doubles, or anything else before we move on?
I'd like the Trae Young double-double and win at plus 180. And
that was a huge one last year. He's so underrated as a passer.
Yeah, and I think they said something he may play a little bit more off ball, but I just don't think that's a good idea for him. I think you just keep him on the ball, let him run the point. DeJounte Murray plays more off the ball. And if you're worried about that, there's a 25 plus and they win at about plus 145 that you could also play.
Why would you not want him off the ball? He's the most lethal shooter on the team.
I just think he's very good with the ball in his hands.
I think he is too, but I think that's the next step to unlock his game.
Yeah, I guess.
Let DeJounte be able to go things up. He should be able to just get you wide open shots, and he should be able to nail them. But so we disagree there, but we're in agreement. Atlanta -3.
And another big thing that I don't think we factored into this, but it makes us like the bet even more.
Mm-hmm.
They picked up Quinn Snyder as their head coach midseason last year. Now they've had a whole offseason to implement his system. We know what he's done in Utah. I think he hits the ground running right here.
All right. We had this game at 232. The totals all the way up to 236. It was 235 when we were talking about making plays here, Tyler. But I'm fine staying away from this total right now. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm staying away. Nothing on the total.
Yeah, you know what? I think we're going to tread lightly on totals even though we only had 2 totals yesterday as our official plays. Let's go ahead and get this fleshed out here. The Washington Wizards, Tyler, I told you before we jumped on, since we talked yesterday and put a bunch of bets in yesterday, right? I got about 4K already riding tonight. Let's go. The Washington Wizards were +7 when we discussed this game yesterday, Tyler. I liked this game. I had the Wizards. I had the final score is 119-113. Our projections are over on FanSpeak right now, but if you just want the plays, we're going to put those up at the Nuke the House. So we're all over the place, right? But we're here for the people. The Wizards took money. I believe that was correct. Now at 5, I think the line's right, or maybe even leaning to the Pacers. We've talked about 6 and 7 being those key numbers before. The total's 235. At +7, I would have made a case towards adding the Wizards. Those are 2 huge points. That's 7-5 is a lot bigger than 11-9. And you guys with the fouling and watching the show with me and understanding how I believe that 3 and 7 are key numbers, just like in the NFL. I think the value's gone off Washington. Pacers are passed. I'm completely fine passing. I think Washington's going to exceed expectations, but now the market's with us too. You know, Washington had the lowest regular season win total of the year, which is why I wasn't surprised to see them as heavy dogs. But the market kind of agrees with what I was telling you yesterday. What do you think, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, I leaned Indy wins the game. I didn't want to lay 7. I still lean that they win the game, but I think Washington's going to be similar to Utah of last year where they surprised some people. They're not going to be as bad to start. There's some vets on that team. They're going to be able to score points, but they're going to give up a ton of points. So it's just going to be track meets in their games. I lean the over here too. It's an ugly game though, so probably stay away from this on a 12-game slate.
One more thing on this game. So I would say that Indiana has the best player on the floor in Halliburton, right?
Yes.
And I'd say the best player for Washington is Kuz. Would you agree? Yeah. I would say that Jordan Poole's a lot better than Indiana's second best player. Would you agree, or am I wrong here? I mean, who are we giving the second best player in Indiana to? Benny Mathurin, Miles Turner. I mean,
probably be Turner.
Yeah. So you see what I'm saying? This is why I'm kind of talking.
But the thing is you can list the 3 best players on the Wizards, and none of them make their teammates better. Tyrese Halliburton makes all his teammates better.
Okay, so that's a great point. That's why I like talking through this stuff with you. All right, let's keep it moving. Kind of some good arguments on both sides, and a lot of times when we have good arguments on both sides, we don't bet the game. The Boston Celtics are -3.5. What did we bet this at yesterday, Tyler?
We got it at 3.
At -3. Perfect Rotation messaged me when I didn't have the numbers offshore, but they were up on whichever book that he uses. He had the Celtics 2.5, and I'd said, hey, if you like Boston, bet it now because I think it's going to close at 4, and I still do think it's going to close at 4. I think Boston's taking money. I think Boston's the right side. We talked about it a little bit yesterday, but I don't know how this is so crazy that Milwaukee makes this big move, and as a result, Boston ends up upgrading their team. Drew Holiday fits in so well with this Boston Celtics team. He gives you that Marcus Smart defensive attitude, right? Now, Smart was a little more versatile, right? I think I could put Smart on threes a little easier, right? Where Holiday is going to be a backcourt only guy. A little more, you lose a little versatility, but you're getting that same point of attack defense against the opposing point guard. And I also think his attitude and his offensive aptitude fit in with the Celtics better. I believe the Celtics have improved. I know we love the Knicks. Look at Jalen Brunson here. And you talk about him leaving Dallas and Kyrie replacing him. I mean, is it really that much different between those two players at this point? I think they're both beautifully gifted scorers. There are some defensive liabilities, but they're guys I want with the ball in their hands with the game on the line. So we look at the Knicks. They definitely have the power to get it done. They could be popular at 3.5, but Tyler, I still like our Celtics play. We played it at 3. I like it all the way through 4. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I love the Celtics here spread. I like just a look ahead. I do not think they win the championship, but they will be one of the teams in there in the end. I think it is the Bucks that prevail. But this team is going to be a regular season juggernaut. Their starting lineup's going to give teams all kinds of fits. Like Porzingis is going to be at the 5, which is going to drag Robinson out, or you got to do some mismatches. All 4 of the other guys can also shoot threes. They're going to be moving these guys around. The Knicks won't be able to cover them all that well either. And if they get hot from 3 in the Garden, it's over. I could see this one being a blowout where Boston just stomps them into the ground. So I'm not going to play many props. I'm just going to play that 3.5 and hope that they do just onslaught them and they make a statement game 1.
I'm agree with you. Statement game 1 there for the Celtics. We did not have a play on the total. It sits at 222.5. Where did I put my projections? I got to do a better job of setting my windows up. On the projections, Tyler, we had this game at 225. It's down to 222.
Yeah, I wouldn't play it.
It's moved down. So these totals have moved a lot more than the sides.
Yeah, I wouldn't play a full game total. If I'm playing anything, it's a Boston team total over.
I mean, at this point, with our projections, we have a lean to the over, but let's respect the market and stay away from that. Markets dropped at 3 points since we discussed this game yesterday, Tyler. Here's the game that I really want to put on the treasure map. And you were a little hesitant, and I understand why. So I've yet to get involved here. But my favorite darling, right, of the Western Conference, the Houston Rockets, with my guy Şengün, your guy Jalen Green, Ime Udoka taking over as the coach and refitting that backcourt with Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks. Now you've got veteran leadership. Now you've got veteran know-how and someone to really guide these guys. Hopefully we can start running this offense through Şengün. I think the KPJ is addition by subtraction. I felt he kind of overlapped with Jalen Green's skill set. I think this makes the team more balanced. You have Green who can still do all the same things that KPJ did as far as being able to beat men off the dribble, create in the half court. But now you're going to get a more balanced team as you don't have 2 of those players who were kind of superfluous at that point. Superfluous. I don't know how to say that word. And you'll get a little more defensive attitude from this team. I like the Houston Rockets here, Tyler. I didn't pull the trigger. They're +4. They're +158. I want to get involved. Tell me why you're wary of fading this Magic team at home in game 1.
Yeah, I mean, I love the thought process of the Ime Udoka hire and everything, all the guys they brought in. It should definitely bring like a defensive attitude to this team. But does it show up in game 1? I think there's still going to be some mistakes from the younger guys where like they're giving up easy shots. Orlando's a young team too. But let's play the game we just played in the Washington game spread.
Who's
the best player on this floor?
Paolo.
Who's the second best player on this floor? It's Franz
or FBD.
Yeah, both guys are on the Orlando side, and both guys might take a step this year. If they both come out and they look like they're going to take that next step, I think Paolo is going to be a superstar in this league. I think he's going to be the one that starts to lead Orlando. And it's also the thing of Orlando didn't make very much of any changes to their roster in the offseason. So these guys, like chemistry-wise, like if you were to put a rating on it, their chemistry didn't change much from last year because there's nothing new incoming. To where Houston's got to work all these new guys in, the Dylan Brooks, the Fred VanVleets, learn Udoka's system. I lean Orlando here. I think they pull off the win. I think Paolo just dominates that front court.
So now you see why we don't have an X on the treasure map for this spot, even though I like Houston. Tyler likes Orlando. I think we both made some pretty good arguments. Take with that what you will. We're not going to have a play on it, but I think that we've given you some insight into some good reasons for both teams. We are on the Nuke the House YouTube channel, guys. This is Nuke the House. I hit the thumbs up. Share it with your friends. This is a new channel, but we're still trying to bring winners to the people. Drop it in your group chats. I would love if you give a retweet. I mean, I'll jump in your DMs and give you something cool. Help spread the word as we're trying to regrow the following here. But everything we're doing now is free. It's for the people. Tyler and I here for you to give you NBA winners. Cleveland Cavaliers are -2. They're in Brooklyn taking on the Nets. Totals 219.5. Tyler, we've discussed this one this morning. Cavaliers probably have the ugliest injury report. Let's just not decide, but they do have one. Cam Johnson will play. Dennis Smith Jr. will play. Derek Whitehead out. Jarrett Allen out. Dean Wade, which Tyler, it's not going to seem like much, but I do really think that hurts their depth in the front court, and we're going to talk about that as we're concerned about a Memphis play that we made yesterday with front court depth. I think Dean Wade means more than we think, and Darius Garland, questionable. How do we approach this game, Tyler? I know you were thinking about Brooklyn here, but I'm worried. As much as this team's going to be fun, right? We talked about it. It's the NBA hipster team, right? With all the forwards and all the young, exciting players and, not a real true superstar. I'm still worried that Nets might be a tad overrated. Oh, we didn't even mention Ben Simmons. Maybe he's back. Maybe, the Nets run away with it. What are your thoughts here when the Cavaliers travel to the Barclays Center? Is it Barclay or Barclays? Not sure. Barclays Center, one of them, to take on the Nets.
Yeah, you got that last name out before I got to it. That's why the smirk was on my face, because he's back. Ben Simmons is going to play in this game. And I honestly think Brooklyn wins this game spread. Just look at the matchup. You're missing Jared Allen. They said Darius Garland went through shoot around, but that's a Q tag on a left hamstring strain. Do they really want to test it in game one? He might sit too. I think he might sit too, because you don't want him dealing with that hamstring injury for months to come leading into the season. There is no depth on this Cleveland roster whatsoever. They can't defend wings. This Brooklyn team has shooters that are going to surround Ben Simmons as he runs the point tonight. And some of these performance doubles are just priced so wrong in this game. You can get a Ben Simmons 10-plus assists and they win the game at 9-1. Are you telling me he ain't going to dish around to these guys? And all of these guys are talking him up in the preseason. You can get a triple-double and win at 40-1. Like, these are all plays that I'm probably going to sprinkle on tonight. And even a Ben Simmons 10-plus rebounds, and they win at plus 630. Claxton's really their only real rebounder, so Simmons will be down there. And with no Jared Allen, it's only Mobley on the other side. So he could easily get 10-plus points. He can get the triple-double in this matchup. So I'm on Brooklyn here. I'm on Ben Simmons props, as disgusting as that sounds. But I think it's a great matchup for his first game back, and he can make a statement right here.
All right. Another game, the market is going towards the under 221 when we did the game, Tyler, yesterday. It's now at 219 on the total. Projections had it at 220. No edge for us there on the total. So Tyler likes the Nets there, but I think you got a great point. If you're going to take the chance with the Nets going against, I think that it's fair to say, the better team in Cleveland, once you get a really big payout out of it, use one of those performance doubles that he just gave out. All right. Let us keep it moving. This is one that I wanted to play, Tyler, and I couldn't get there, and the projections didn't like it either. The Detroit Pistons, if I love the Rockets in the West, I love the Pistons in the East, but maybe I got a little excited a little bit too early. Bojan Bogdanovic, who's key veteran for them, is going to miss the beginning of the season. My guy James Wiseman, I think, is going to be out of the rotation. Jaden Ivey moved to the bench. But what they do have going for him, he got moved to the bench because Astaire Thompson, one of the Thompson twins that was drafted number 5 overall, I believe, he looks fantastic there. It gives him more of a defensive presence. Ivey coming off the bench, can he be like a Jamal Crawford role? Regardless, well, it's interesting to see how many minutes he gets in his second year. But this is about the biggest point spread of the day here. They're +9 in Miami. Of course, the Heat coming off that failed championship run once again, where they made it to the NBA Finals, fell short against the Denver Nuggets. I wanted to play the Pistons. My projections like the Heat. However, my screen's freezing up. I hope you can still hear me. Your thoughts, Tyler?
Yeah, can still hear you, but you're frozen with your mouth open, so hopefully no bugs fly in there.
Yeah, for sure.
Looking at this game, I kind of agree with you. I kind of like Detroit +9. Cade's back. The Thompson twins in there. And Miami, let's just talk about it. They're not a regular season team. Like, They barely squeaked into the playoffs. They had a great run in the playoffs. They shot well, made the finals, didn't pull it off. But would they win like 40 games last year? They were like the 8 or the 9 seed trying to get in. I just don't see it. And it's going to take some of these new pieces time to adjust, like an RJ Hampton, the Jaime Hosquez's. And Hero's back, and Butler will be there, so will Bam. But they have bodies on that Detroit side that could slow them down too. And I think 9 might be a little bit too many points. And another thing, spread, we noticed last year, what was it? Miami only had like very few games where they would win by margin. They would usually win by
Great
5
point.
points. Yeah. Now we're getting a 9 on opening night. I kind of lean Detroit here. I might want to play it.
All right. If we do, we'll go ahead and tweet that out. I already like the Pistons to begin with. You made some great points. The one that really stuck with me is the reminder of how much Miami – I can't remember what the exact stat was, right, Tyler? But it felt like they never – the 5, right? They never went past that 5. Anytime it was +6 or more.
I'm going to see if I can find something on that from last year.
All right. While you do that, I'm going to go ahead and jump into our very next game. The Minnesota Timberwolves are -1. They're in Toronto. They're taking on the Raptors. Total's 221.5. Tyler, this is the game where I don't know what to make of it. I'd say, if I had you said you have to bet every game but one, I think this is the one that I would throw out. I think this is the toughest one for me. I'll make good arguments here for both sides. Number one, the Timberwolves are by far the better team. Anthony Edwards has the chance to move into a top 5 player this season. I know I said that last season. But he's continued to improve. Love him, love his attitude, and love the way that he's leading this team. I know that we give Karl Anthony Towns, I know we go on him a lot and try to criticize him, but he's still a very good player. Rudy Gobert, another one, constantly slandered, but he can still get it done, especially in the regular season. Now, Toronto, we're not sure what to make of them. They've lost Nick Nurse. They've lost – Am I still with you, Tyler?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay, yeah, everything disappeared, and I think I'm back.
Here we go.
Oh, but I'm gone.
Yeah, you're gone.
Sorry for those who want to see me.
You're
so after I finish this little breakdown, I'm going to jump in and jump back out while you're doing it. The Raptors, so we don't know what to make. Nick Nurse is gone. It should mean less minutes for the starters. Maybe they use the depth a little bit more. Fred VanVleet's gone. So who replaces him at point guard? Dennis Schrader, however you want to say it. Should be a little more run there for Gary Trent Jr. Of course, you still have Anunoby, Siakam, Precious. This is still a pretty good team. Tyler, I've talked a lot to basically tell you I don't know what to make of this game. I'm going to jump out, jump back in, break it down.
Yeah, I mean, it's an ugly game. I don't really like it at all. I don't think we really bet this game because it's Minnesota versus Toronto. There's a lot of moving pieces. Jaden McDaniels out, which was one of Minnesota's best defenders. I don't really like that. We seen when he was out last year, they did not play well. And it's just a bad matchup, I think. Teams don't play well when they head to Toronto. But I can't pull the trigger on Toronto at home, losing Van Fleet, all the rumors around trading the other guys. I don't like their depth either. So with 12 games spread, we're doing the good old Jimmy Butler on this one. Ball it up, and we're going to the next one.
All right. The Oklahoma City Thunder are +2.5, totals 225. Tyler, there's 2 games that I'm sharply against my sharp friends. My friends that make a lot of money betting NBA that I like to network with and trade information with and go over our numbers. There's 2 games which we completely disagree on. One of them, I'm about to give them some credit, but I'm still going to stand firm on this one. Everybody loves the Oklahoma City Thunder, and rightfully so. SGA is awesome. Chet Holmgren looks good. With all those young players, most of them should be improved, notably Jalen Williams, who was, I would say, the best rookie last year for where he was drafted, right? Because he was in the 10s.
I'd say he's the best rookie outside of Paulo, who was just a flat-out stud.
Yeah, fantastic. So they have so many reasons to be optimistic, but let's not overlook the Chicago Bulls team. Is the Chicago Bulls team going to win a championship? No. They even won a playoff series? Probably not. But they're not as bad as people think. This team's got a lot of talented veterans. Guys who know how to win in the league. DeMar DeRozan. Zach LaVine's a veteran now. I mean, he's getting up there. Vukovic, I know people hate him because he sucks on defense. He's still going to be able to fill it up. Kobe White, let's see how he does here. But this team has plenty of ways to score. It's a tough place to play. Chicago's going to be rocking. They love this team in Chicago. They love the Bulls in Chicago. I think it's a great home court. And as good as the Thunder was, and it was nice, they had a nice little run to end the year. And maybe Chet is so good that I'm completely wrong. But I think that we're overvaluing them a little bit. When they have the really chance to really take that play-in spot and push, they weren't able to beat the very best teams last year. They're pretty good at beating the weaker teams. Let's see how they do against the very best teams. Another team, they were a juggernaut at home. I don't know if I like them on the road here. I love the Chicago Bulls, but everybody else in the world is going to be on the Thunder. Talk to me, Tyler.
Yeah, I'm with you. Give me the Bulls. I don't like backing the young team day one. Like, I like it. Chet should be good. SGA is probably going to be an MVP candidate. I think they probably right around that play, and maybe they steal a 6 seed and get into the top 6. But this is still a very, very, very young team. Like, they're still going to make a ton of mistakes. You talked about it. The Bulls are a veteran team. Caruso's will be there to defend these guards, which is a big thing for Chicago. I think they have the better depth too, like Dosunmu coming off the bench, Dalen Terry and these guys coming off the bench. Like, I like them better than some of these OKC pieces right now. I don't think they're going to have better careers, but these OKC pieces are like 19 years old. They still got to improve. They got to go through a couple more years. And what a terrible matchup for Chet in game one. A bigger center that likes to play with his back to the hoop. Like, he's going to try and bully Chet under the rim all game. I think he feasts on the boards. And give me the Vucevic double-double and Chicago wins at plus 142.
All right. Well, Oklahoma City's got a lot of young talent. You got to be excited if you're a fan, especially with all those draft picks. Not so fast tonight. We like the Bulls. Here's the other one where we're opposite the market, Tyler. The New Orleans Pelicans are +1. They're in Memphis. They're taking on the Grizzlies, 224.5. Here's why we liked Memphis, and I say liked past tense. So I don't know if I would advise everyone to get on it right now. Number one, they're one of the best home court advantages in the league. Number two, even though you say John Morant's out, they've traditionally done really well without John Morant in there. I think that Marcus Smart's going to do an excellent job providing that team with some veteran toughness and point of attack defense, probably even a little better than the now departed Tyus Jones. I think that some of these other younger players will continue to develop, namely Zaire Williams, who I expect to make a big leap this year. Here's my concern, Tyler. Since we placed this bet, Santi Aldama rolled his ankle. We were already worried with Steven Adams being out. And Brandon Clark is not playing here. The lack of big man depth really worries me with Williamson and Valanciunas out there. I love this play before. Now, if you haven't bet it yet, I don't think I would jump in. What do you say? Are we still enthusiastic about the Grizzlies? Because I'm worried about this injury situation just being too much. Not that Santi Aldama is worth that much on his own, but the fact that there's no other bigs in there really concerns me.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be a smaller team. So, like, the guys like Zion and Joe Val might just absolutely feast here. But, like, the guards for New Orleans, they're going to have some troubles. Desmond Bane, Marcus Smart, like, these guys will be able to guard. And these guys can shoot threes, too. So, if New Orleans can't defend the three-point line, Memphis is going to hit a ton of threes in this matchup. Jaren Jackson's going to have to stay out of foul trouble. If he gets into foul trouble, we're probably screwed. If he stays out of foul trouble, though, I do think Memphis has a very, very good shot at winning this game. Of the games on the board we already played, just like you said, though, with the injury to Aldama, I'd probably tell guys to sit out on this unless they're already in.
Yeah, I think that it goes to a no play for us. But we already have it on the treasure map. We've already bet it. So it's in there. The total is 224.5. Let me see what we projected this at. We projected it at 226. This is another one that dropped, though, 227.5 yesterday when we watched. Do you think this is because of the two unders coming in last night?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. And we're fine staying away from those totals. Remember, guys, last year there was a spate of overs to start. So don't list last night, which was quality teams. Like we said, we're not writing off the Warriors and we're not writing off the Lakers because they lost, because those were quality teams, especially on the defensive end. So just because we had two unders last night, don't rush and bet every single under tonight. In fact, Tyler, if I had to bet, I would bet that there's more games tonight that go over than under. If you were to blind bet, I would blind bet the overs based on the strength of last year's result. The Sacramento Kings, Tyler, we haven't been able to pull the trigger on this one. We're worried about the home court advantage of the Utah Jazz, but of the two games that we've left off the card that we really like the projections, the over in the very next game, the Mavericks Spurs, and the Kings -1.5. This is the one that it's hardest for me not to get involved with. Tyler, I just think our team is so much better. Number one, we talked about continuity before. The Kings will do have that. I believe they added this new generation Peja. For those who don't know, Sasha Vezenkov, he is a shooter. We already had the best offense in the league last year. It's only going to get better adding a marksman of his caliber. And the Utah Jazz, if we just sort by the last 2-3 months of the year, they're not that good. A lot of the reason we had them power rated so high last year was the strength of the beginning of their schedule, where they were in first place in the West in December last year. Don't expect that to happen this year. Tyler, I like the Kings, but I haven't pulled the trigger yet. Talk to me, chat, tell me, can I support my hometown heroes?
I'm 1,000% with you. I think that they probably win the game. They're the better team. It all lines up on paper. But just to touch back on the Chicago game and how we said it, like, their team's not all that good, but the fans love them, and they're going to be in that arena, and they're going to have a home court advantage. You can guarantee that for tonight in Utah, because that's all they got in Utah. Those people will fill that arena. They'll be loud for their team. If they go on a run late, they're going to rally, and they're going to have the tempo, and they could easily steal this game. So I lean the Kings, but I don't think we should play it. I think of all the lines we've looked at spread, I think this could be a trap game.
All right, Tyler.
Top 3 team in the Western Conference last year versus a team that missed the playoffs. No real roster moves, and you're getting them at -1.5. Like, that just smells like a trap.
Tyler, I'm so pissed I didn't bet this yesterday. I told you our biggest edge on the board was the over on the Mavericks and the Spurs. It was 228.5 yesterday. It's 231 now, but I still have this projected at 239. I think this will be one of the highest scoring games of the day. But the reason we didn't play it was, of course, the uncertainty around the San Antonio Spurs, their defensive intensity, and let's see how Popovich goes. When you're tanking, defensive mistakes are fine. You play through them. Maybe does he say, hey, I can make a run right now. This Victor guy's going to be a top 10 player already, and that might be the case. Maybe a little more defensive expectation and intensity from the Spurs this year. Maybe not as much learning through the mistakes of the young guys. The veterans get a little more run. So because of that uncertainty, we left this one off. I'll tell you what, I'm not really high on the Mavericks at all this year. We talked about the issues and how, to me, like Kyrie and Jalen Brunson at this point, I know Kyrie's more aesthetically pleasing to watch and has the better highlights. But to me, there's a lot of the same stuff, a lot of the same issues with this team. They don't defend as well on the perimeter. And I don't know. I just think that you got 2 stars and then not too much else. I know I'm high on Josh Green and Jaden Hardy.
Sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead. I talk too much.
Bet the Bengals right now because Brock Purdy is in concussion protocol.
Okay. Let me look at that line. While I do that, talk to me about the Mavericks and the Spurs. I talked about the uncertainty around this game and why we didn't get involved. But if you just have to bet it, you have to take the over. Your thoughts, Tyler?
Yeah, I like that. But I got one easier for you, spread.
Okay.
I mean, let's be honest here. It's going to be very hard for a lot of these guys in the NBA to figure out how to go at Wembanyama for a couple months. Mm-hmm. Because it's like when Giannis showed up, it's like, all right, well, I only need this much separation to get my jump shot off. And then Giannis blocks it from 3 feet away. It's like, all right, well, now I got to get more separation. Victor's going to cover so much ground. He's going to block shots that guys didn't even think he had a chance at blocking. You can get his blocks at 2.5 at even money. And you can ladder those on FanDuel against a team where I think they're going to shoot some threes, but Dallas is going to try and get into the paint. I'll do the 3+ blocks at -105. Give me the 4+ blocks at +230. I'll even bet the 5+ blocks at +550. I think Victor just swats the ball around. And another play I like on him, everyone's on the rebounds. It smells like a trap. I'll just play the double-double at like plus 400. My worry here, though, is he hangs out on the perimeter more. They don't want him in the paint getting beat up by the big guys down there. So you might be needing a bunch of outlet rebounds, which might screw you in the end. So not a full unit play on the double-double. I'm going to play the blocks more. But I'm definitely going to bet that double-double because I don't want to see the man go for 18, 13, and 6. And I missed that double-double. So, and as for the game, don't try and pick a winner in this one. Everyone's going to want to bet the Spurs because it's Victor's first game and they're an underdog. Luka's questionable on the Dallas side, so you can't be confident with them either. But just like Spread said, look for the over. If you don't want to bet it pregame, watch the live line, see if you can catch a live line where it's lower.
All right. We do have a play on this last game, Tyler. The Portland Trailblazers took a little bit of money. We gave it out on the treasure map at plus 9.5. It's down to plus 9 as the market agrees with me. I have this as a 7-point win for the Clippers. That's a big enough edge for us here. So we like the Trailblazers. Another game that we lean the over. Let me see where this moved to. That number's gone for me on the Bengals, by the way, Tyler. It's already off the board. Total 226 here. What was it yesterday? It was 227.5. So once again, another one that took a little bit of under money. I think that I would fade the steam here. I know we respect the market. I just think it might be taking a little bit too much into last night. Let's go back and look at last year. This is another one that I like the over here. At 231, Tyler, I have this projected at 231. Now it's down to 226. Can we add an over in this too? Or are we too worried about this new look Portland Trailblazers and my ability to accurately project this team due to the fact that all my numbers were based off Damian Lillard being on the team? And then after that, the tanking team that seemed to just only care about scoring to the end of the season last year, where they lost a bunch of games like 130 to 110. You understand my point. I love the Trailblazers plus 9 here, and I'm thinking about adding this total here. I got a 231 on a 236, Tyler. 232.
Yeah, I'm not going to touch the total much, Spread. Just hammer down the plus 9 in this game. You're going to have Simons and these guys out there. Aiden's going to be out there. And there's already a couple guys out on the Clipper side that are meaningful names. Like Terrence Mann isn't going to play.
Yeah, I knew that. Okay, that was in the projections.
Bones Highland has a Q tag. Like that might not be good.
He sucks.
I mean, yeah, he's not the best, but he could volume score off the bench. So
with Russell there, he's completely unnecessary now, though.
Yeah, but it's just a weird matchup too. I think this is way too many points. I think Portland could honestly win this game outright.
A little plus 327 for people who like that. All right, Tyler, I think I'm going to add that over. I got it at 232. It's at 226.
Does it worry you that the Clipper, like if Russ is just running the point, like I know he's going to speed the game up, but if he's just chucking threes, like that's just going to bury us.
Here's my worry, that the plus 9 and the over are correlated. And that if we're wrong and the Blazers lose by 20, I've just lost 2 bets instead of 1. Did you see what I'm saying? I feel like I'm already kind of betting the over by taking the plus 9.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't get there, it's because the Blazers only have 95 points and the Clippers defense looks elite. Like we thought it was going to be. And even though Kawhi is not the same defender that he used to be, he's still going to be able to give guys like Shaden Sharp and these younger guys problems. Do you understand my point? They're not going to understand all those veteran tricks. So I think that's why I'm not going to add the over, because I feel like I've kind of already bet it. And that if I miscast this game, it's going to cost me 2 units.
Yeah, I hear you there. So we'll stick with the plus 9.
That one's so tough, though. Let's see how things go. So there we have it, Tyler. We made it through the whole board here. 49 minutes. Bro, are we back in regular season form already?
Strong and efficient.
I love it. All right, but we're not done yet. Let's go ahead and give everybody the best bets. Tyler, let's start with you. What's your favorite prop for the day? And then just your favorite side or total. You're the prop king. Give us a prop to start.
I'll give out 3 since we have a giant slate. Love the Ben Simmons props outside of points because I think he plays a great game. I think Mikal Bridges in that same game could have some scoring going for himself because they can't defend wings.
Mhm.
We talked about Vucevic versus Chet. I think he could bully him down low and just dominate him. And then Victor's blocks, I think, is just too easy. That line's going to be steamed by the third game when he's averaging about 3 to 4 blocks. So those would be the props for me. The performance doubles would be Vucevic double-double, Chicago wins, Trae Young double-double, and Atlanta wins. And as for my best bet spread, give me that Atlanta minus 3.5. I think that is just too easy.
All right, I'm going to take another road favorite for my best bet. Tyler, give me the Boston Celtics against your New York Knicks. We got a team that I expect to finish first in the East. They're going to have something to prove. They've improved since last season. I hated that Marcus Smart trade. I don't even like Porzingis that much. You put Drew Holiday on this team. I mean, it's absolutely perfect. And the fact that it detracts from their number one rival, oh my gosh, what a huge addition. I don't think we're going to see all those fun highlights from the New York team, and I'll be ready to see it. So I like the Celtics -3. Tyler likes the Hawks -3.5. Tyler also likes those Ben Simmons player props.
Our guy Perfect Rotation added me on Twitter. I just seen it 15 minutes ago. So our chat was disabled. I was wondering why no one was chatting with us, Spread. So
why did it stop?
Yeah, we're going to have to figure that one out.
How did it just disable halfway through?
Yeah, we'll get that one figured out for the fellas in the chat next show.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look into that because I was noticing that we were cracking all the way till about 12:15 my time, 3:15 your time, and then we didn't get another. That's so weird. All right, we'll have to look into that. Anyways, we will be back tomorrow. Are we gonna go for 4 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, Tyler?
Yep.
All right, 4 p.m. Eastern, and then on Friday, are we doing NFL or NBA first?
We will probably do NBA first.
So we'll do NBA at 3 Eastern, NFL at 4.
Yep.
There you have it. We'll be back tomorrow. We're giving you the winners. Check out FanSpeak if you want the full projections. If you just want the plays, they're on Keg Sheet on the Nuke the House website. So you can find us multiple places. But we appreciate you guys joining us, man. It makes it so much more fun. I wish we had this chat going again. But we're going to be back tomorrow, pounding our chest after cashing all these tickets and giving you more winners. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Let's have a great night.